Showtime!
Ladies and gentlemen, please make your way to your seats.
Showtime!
Please make your way to your seats. The show is about to begin.
Showtime!
Let the magic begin.
Nanowires and how they're changing electronics. I gotta say that when we talk about lattice mismatch issues, I'm like, ugh, my eyes start to roll out because we're like getting down to such a nano level that I wonder. So anyway, let's just step back and say researchers overcome lattice mismatch issues to advance optoelectronic applications. What does this actually mean?
Yeah, so in just to kind of put it into layman's terms, researchers have developed a new way to build very tiny semiconductor structures called nanowires that are important for making new electronic and optical devices. And the nanowires are normally hard to make with different materials because the materials don't naturally fit well together at the tiny nanoscale. And talking nanoscale, I know we're getting into more of the quantum physics stuff, but we won't really touch on quantum too much. So what they've done is they've discovered that by choosing certain amorphous materials that have no crystal structure, they could grow these materials as a coating on the nanowires in a way that naturally fits together without gaps or stress between them. So specifically what they did is they coated semiconductor nanowires made of materials like gallium arsenide or indium gallium arsenide with layers of amorphous halogenides with germanium sulfide or germanium selenide. What happened was their technique allowed the control over the thickness and quality of these coatings, which found that with different combinations of core nanowires and coating materials could produce structures with electromagnetic properties tuned for specific uses. So while they were testing these new core shell nanowire structures, it showed that there was an enhanced performance for photon detection and imaging compared to existing technologies. So properties like how strongly and how quickly they respond to light, that also could be modified. So the thing is they've overcome, apparently, a long-standing barrier, and which opens up new possibilities for engineering optical and electronic behaviors at the ultra-small nanoscale through picking different material combinations, which could enable new kinds of sensitive, flexible sensors and other devices, which is really cool. So the thing is originally, and we're talking about growing nanowires from different materials, what happened was it caused strain issues as the natural crystal arrangements didn't match up well. So that was the original issue. So it limited what could be built. So huge, apparently, advancement. Oh, you might be on mute.
I'm muted. Sorry, I noticed that. It's like, let me be the layman here because I'm like, all right, that is great. But, you know, I'm read this. The successful achievement of effective lattice mismatch-free construction in the core shell heterostructure introduces
Oh. Is it me or?
I just rebooted our router. Hopefully it'll come back up.
Okay. So sorry guys, a little bit of a technical difficulty. So let me just talk through this. Why should you care about this, Mark? Right? So the thing is it overcame a major roadblock that has limited nanophotonic and nanoelectronic development for years by resolving lattice mismatch issues. The approach provides an unprecedented design freedom to combine materials for unique optical and electronic device properties that were not possible before, which would open up an entirely new application space by enabling performance and functionalities that were previously inaccessible. Sectors like healthcare, environmental monitoring, energy, computing, and more could benefit from next-gen nanoscale sensors, emitters, and other optoelectronic components. So from a scientific perspective, it advances our fundamental understanding of light-matter interactions at the smallest scales. The work also demonstrates how clever materials engineering approaches can overcome challenges in nanotechnology. And these are the breakthroughs that we need for us to continue to advance. So the cool thing about this research is it provides a model for resolving other roadblocks down to the interface level that could inspire, again, new leaps. So, but there are specific challenges. Again, why should you care about this? So let me give you some real world examples. LED OLED displays using carbon nanotubes to enable flexible LED screens, photovoltaics using nanowires and dots to boost solar efficiency, in fiber optics. You could have nanoparticles to guide light in fiber for telecoms. And we talked about a world record speed using fiber transmission. This is an advancement that could enable that in the real world. Again, medical devices. So nanorods that target cancer cells under infrared irradiation. And then if we're talking about electronics, so computer chips. So this could help us to overcome Moore's law. Nanowires connect next-gen transistors for faster speeds. With memory, you have quantum dots, sorry for the quantum, enabling higher density data storage. Then you have sensors. So you have carbon nanotubes, nanoparticles that amplify biochemical signals. And then with displays as well, nanowires could enable screens that bend, but yet retain clarity. Because right now they bend and it's crazy. So there's a lot here to unpack. And we're just at the precipice of this. We're at the cusp. But this is going to enable a lot of future development when it comes to electronics, optical things, and things like that. Now, the last thing to kind of touch on for this is to give you some more background on the specific challenges of the lattice mismatch problem at the nanoscale and how this addressed this issue. So at the nanoscale size of core shell nanowires, even small differences in the natural crystal lattices spacing of each material, that causes a huge problem, like just a tiny difference. The results in large interface strains as the two materials are forced to merge their crystal arrangement. So the thing with these strains is they can cause defects like dislocations that degrade material quality and carrier transport properties. Now, to relieve the strain, conventional approaches use very thin crystalline shells or near matching materials, but this highly limits combinations. So the researchers exploited a form of a disordered glass-like network structure when deposited. And this network structure is inherently flexible and conforms to the core material without the crystalline mismatches, which allows compositional control while maintaining an interface-free lattice-matched interface between core and shell, which resolves the long-standing barrier of integrating different semiconductors for functional core shell nanowires heterostructures. Great, awesome advancement. Super excited for this.
What do you got going on, John?
Oh, tonight, if for those listening, we've got Startup Drinks TO. We've got a whole bunch of tickets sold. It's going to be a great event. 9 hours, 3 minutes, and 5 seconds. Ticket prices are cheap for what you get. $25 gets you unlimited food, unlimited drink, but again, under liquor laws. And this is the coolest part: is you can pitch, which includes in your ticket, which I love. So you can go up, you can pitch yourself, you can pitch an idea, you can pitch your company, whatever, and you get to listen to other people's pitching. We got investors, we've got startups, we've got Big Four people, we've got everyone that shows up to this.
Yeah, and it's going to be a great event, and that's tonight. So we do it every month. There'll be another one May 30th, because if you're listening to this on the podcast, you'll be missing this too late. You've got another event happening.
Yeah, this isn't tech related, but this is a wellness thing, which I swear by, honestly. So this, if you're interested in cold plunging, or you've done it before and you love it, this is a great event. It happens in the morning for those that are early risers. It's put on by Unbounded. Tickets have been reduced by 10%, so you get a decent price. So you do breathwork, cold plunge. They have saunas, mindfulness, yoga. It's a phenomenal experience. I highly recommend it. It's outside in the morning at Trillium Park on May 26th.
So what exactly is a cold plunge?
So it's this tub that's filled with ice, but these have actual chillers on the outside, so they're professional ones. But you just plunge in very, very cold water, and honestly, the feeling that you get throughout the whole day is just phenomenal. There are studies that have shown this. There's this cold protein that gets activated when you do cold plunging.
Yeah, and you can activate that by actually hitting the base of your spine, neck where the meets with cold water on the shower for about 10 minutes a day, according to Tim Ferriss. But I've done the polar bear plunge or polar bear dip in January. It was friggin' cold. And when I did the Tough Mudder, they made us jump in a trailer truck full of ice and water that you had to dunk and swim under and do all this stuff. Yeah, it's I'm just curious as to, I wouldn't want to be outside after usually.
Well, there's a sauna right beside, so you can hop in the sauna right after.
It sounds fun. It's definitely invigorating, and everyone should try it at least once just to figure out if it's for them.
Yeah. And
so you help people get funding.
Yeah. So I alleviate usually about 80. So yeah, the expertise that come is in tax credits and grants. Even if you're a startup, ideally you want some salaries, but if you're a startup and you want some direction on how to get some non-dilutive funding, reach out to me on LinkedIn.
Great. Yeah. Jon Irwin on LinkedIn. I found there's a second Jon Irwin now popping up in my LinkedIn stuff.
Uh-oh.
So you're going to have to, like, brand new for me. So might have to do something else from a.
Can you send me the link to his profile?
I will after when I see it.
I'll send him a cease and desist.
Yeah. Check out TorontoStarts.com for everything we do. You'll see our podcast episodes for this, our other workshops, our coaching, startup investor drinks. Check out everything there. If you're stuck in your business and are trying to figure out why clients aren't buying or what you need to do to move forward, go to TorontoStarts.com, go to startupcoach.ca. Click on Startup the Coach, book a discovery call. Let's have a call and see how we can move you forward.
For sure.
All right, buddy. We'll see you soon. Thanks, everyone, for watching.
Thanks, guys.
Yeah, see you tonight. Bye.
Wow,